any accident. Your words will always be taken seriously, whatever the fora. I also want to remind Kenyans that what the former President Uhuru Kenyatta said was actually something he had said before. I remember sometime about 6-7 years ago, attending a meeting where the president then warned about a ticking time bomb of the youth bulge. And so what he said a few days ago is exactly what he had said before. But then from where I sit, if there was ever anyone to apportion blame on the challenges we are facing with our youth today, then that blame would squarely fit on the former president's hands. Because when he served for 10 years, to the best of my knowledge, there were no deliberate programs to try and mitigate the effects of the youth bulge that we're having now. And so President William Ruto inherited a problem that had been growing over time. The last regime did not have deliberate programs to create youth employment, whether locally or abroad. Did not have deliberate programs to empower youths. And if those programs were there, they failed. You remember during the NYS scam? You remember the youth fund, it was underfunded. And so he cannot now turn around and point his finger at William Ruto, and yet he himself had the best option. And don't forget, Fred, and
so
I
you
will say
feel
this.
He was actually pointing a finger at William Ruto?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Don't forget that Uhuru Kenyatta borrowed 10 trillion shillings. And most of the problems that William Ruto has inherited are born out of the big debt that we have as a country. 70% of our taxes are repaying debt whose investment we don't see. When you look around this country, you can't see where 10 trillion shillings went. And that is something that Uhuru Kenyatta should be answering us, if we are serious as a nation. Rigathi Gachagua once told us, when he was deputy president, that they inherited empty coffers. And so there was no way in 2 years this problem would have been solved for any reasonable person. And so I think, in as much as Mheshimiwa Kagombe, member for Gatundu South, says that it was out of context, within context or out of context, a former president's words are serious.
Okay. And a quick look at just a plain read of the headline, the way it reads, Uhuru versus Ruto Season 2. I'd like to draw your attention to another headline that was there yesterday in the same paper, Daily Nation. Still talking about the former president and his alleged connection to an individual who would be running for president against William Ruto. That's Fred Matiang'i, the former CS. And many people, probably some critics, said that probably this is going too far for the Daily to try and draw a link between the president's intention or otherwise. Do you agree that probably some of these headlines are too far-fetched and probably meant to ignite some thought over here?
I agree that I think, just like I said, we seem to be looking at every opportunity to sell negativity, and I think negativity really sells. I've been telling you that a lot of us seem to be just doing things for the likes, you know what I mean, so that we are competing on who has the worst news to break. But that said, I just want to say that it is something that is very interesting, and I've realized that a former president